So finally, this last system is the most extreme version of the floating systems, and it's actually called the free float system. This free float system is the only system where the government doesn't intervene at all. It's the difference between these forces, these other three, because in here the government has the obligation to not intervene. They are not going to do anything. So first about price stability. If I do the same graph in here with price and time, it's going to look something like this, like literally moving freely. Like there are no bands, there's nothing that's going to help the exchange rate. So price stability is doesn't exist. Like in this system, there is nothing that will help you to maintain stability. Then policy independence. In this case, yes, the countries that decide to use a free float system, of course, they are forced to use their policies on anything else that is not the exchange rate. And finally, free currency flow again. Yes, this is something important that these countries promote because how do you think someone can achieve implementing a system like this? It has to be a country that is very, very attractive, a country that um, keeps stability or a country that maintains certain level of stability because they are always attractive. So a good example is the US. The US is a country where everyone wants to invest. They export a lot, they import a lot, they do a lot of business. So the dollar is always um, demanded by anyone, right? So because of that, the US doesn't care about intervening in their exchange rate, right? They say the dollar is powerful because we are powerful, so we don't have to do anything. We don't have to go and sell dollars, and we don't have to go and I don't know, do anything. We don't have to. So we are not going to do it. We're going to use all our monetary policies for anything else, reduce poverty, I don't know, increase exports, whatever we want to do, except exchange rate, okay? And so they don't have this, but they feel comfortable because they think that the US is always attractive, so they don't need to intervene. Then later on, policy independence, as I said, it's a yes. And finally, free currency flow, yes, because they also think that part of their attractiveness is that anyone in the world can go and invest in the US. It's not as in China. In China, it's very difficult. We're going to talk about that in the next class when we talk about the balance of payments. So in the end, a quick conclusion about this is that, as you can see, there is no right or wrong in here. It's not like the best option. It's not like this is the best for everyone, or this is the worst, or whatever. It's like it really depends on what are your circumstances and the context of your own country, and from that you have advantages and disadvantages. Like in Ecuador, 20 years ago, it seemed like a good idea to sacrifice their policy independence because they weren't handling economy that well. And maybe 20 years after that, maybe they have changed and maybe now they are more responsible and maybe it's time to do something else. And maybe this doesn't work well for Ecuador right now. It's possible. The same is for Mexico. Like I think we were we were using a Harpec for like 25 years in the 70s, 80s, and it was the worst time for the Mexican economy. It was terrible. So we learned from that, and in '94 we changed the system, and we have had a managed float for 25 years, 26 years, and it's been relatively good for the country and the economy. So it's not really like there is one only answer. You have different answers depending on the context of your own country.